Businesses now understand the threat better. They're now looking at their people, process and technology in that particular order. So it's just a better understanding, context, and there's been precedents of cyber attacks and more press coverage.
Businesses are starting to defend better by looking at what their users are doing. So being able to profile the users, understand what their normal activities are. So for instance, knowing that you've got a HR team and they are going to be accessing HR information, people see it as a very complicated subject. That you've got a lot of terminology out there, you've got a lot of technology out there, and it's so complicated, making those first steps is quite difficult. There's also, in the industry, a lack of talent. There's a lack of bodies out there that know what's supposed to happen, know how this works.
Well, I think that the problem where some businesses aren't really taking any steps to try and protect themselves is that they're complacent. They've managed to run their businesses for years, perhaps decades, without any particular problem, and they're in a why should I have to spend this money point. And it's only going to be when something hits them that they'll finally be triggered into doing something, and then it's going to be pretty painful.
The more we can highlight to these organisations that you can literally be in the firing line, as soon as you connect your network into an IP network, you're really entering a war zone, a cyber war zone, which can be attacked.
You could almost say that on a daily basis new vulnerabilities are released. And a lot of companies don't know that they are running a server with a specific software version that is vulnerable, and an attacker will abuse that vulnerability and gain access to your network.
I think it's very important for the manufacturers of IoT devices to look at ways that they can actually make their devices better protectable and ways that they can actually be updated to fight threats. But the problem is, of course, they need to have an economic model that makes it worthwhile for them. So it's unrealistic to think they'll do it just out of the goodness of their hearts. We need to look at the whole value chain and how can we build an economic model that means they will be concerned to actually protect their devices.
Bigger businesses can easily afford cyber security. If you look at your print shop with 10 people, so a small business, in the UK we have a lot of them, they can't afford the skill set, they can't afford the technology because it's complicated. So they need support from regulators, from industry to cross that barrier, and also from their customers.